President Buhari makes commitments to ending insecurity as Southeast leaders urge greater collaboration for national development. INEC engages stakeholders on bimodal voters accreditation system and security during elections. The People's Democratic Party says the ship is back on course and the next destination is the National Convention. Also today on Political Update, the judiciary tackles conflicting judgments by courts of coordinate jurisdiction. These are more coming right up. I am Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Welcome. This week, President Muhammadu Buhari directed the armed forces and other security agencies in the country not to leave anything to chance in the renewed efforts at restoring peace and order in the areas recording security breaches in the country. The president gave the directive at a crucial meeting of the National Security Council.
And praise also what has been done so far, but we should improve much so that people can go about their lawful businesses within the quickest possible means. The president observed that there is more things to be done in the North Central, Northwest, where people are worried. Selective abductions and killings are done. This narrative must change. The new marching order is that all the service chiefs and intelligence chiefs has been warned to go under the invigorate effort and to do more so that the North Central and Nigeria at large should enjoy better security.
We discuss the need for urgency in our dealing with the bandits. We believe they are becoming a nuisance. We have appraised our position. We find that we are capable. We can do this thing, but we need the cooperation of every Nigerian in order to ensure a free society. Without security, nothing will happen. And the Commander-in-Chief has emphasized that without security, nothing can go. So he has directed us to find ways, tactics, and styles in which we can get out of this. And we assure him that we'll do our best to ensure the mission is successful, especially when equipment and other things are available to support the course of tactical maneuvers.
A security-challenged and destabilized nation will not be handed over to the next administration. President Muhammadu Buhari, who gave this commitment at a town hall meeting with the Southeast leaders in Owerri, Imo State, also promised to leave a more united, corrupt-free, and diversified economy.
The town hall meeting, attended by political and religious leaders from the Southeast, traditional rulers, as well as officials of Ohaneze Ndibo, was convened to discuss critical national issues as they affect the region and chart the best way forward in the greater interests of the country.
It is important at this junction for us to reiterate our collective stand that we believe in the unity of Nigeria. We are everywhere making our contributions to the economic advancement of Nigeria. It is really inconceivable to imagine that we should support the breakup of Nigeria, not now, not tomorrow, never.
Mr. President, the leadership of Nigeria must have faith and hope that no secessionist elements can succeed in Nigeria, provided there is good governance based on equity, justice, and fairness to us.
Both the governor and the President General of Ohaneze Ndibo appreciated the president for improved sense of belonging to the people and federal presence in the region. President Muhammadu Buhari, who described as overwhelming the reception accorded him, promised not to leave anything to chance in effectively securing Nigeria for sustainable growth and development.
The biggest disappointment is now the Northwest and North Central. People without ethnicity, without religious thing, are killing each other and stealing each other's property. And I would like to be remembered as a person who stabilized this country. If there is no security, there is nothing anybody can do, no matter how much he tries or how much initiative he has. Security is number one thing, and we'll try and do that.
The president also promised to sustain efforts at addressing the nation's infrastructure deficit, diversifying the economy, and fighting corruption.
I will make sure, if I know within the system, I will stop corruption. I thank God that I try to keep myself as clean as possible. People will watch and allow you to make one or two mistakes, and then they will make 1,000 mistakes. I will do my best to make sure that Nigerians that try hard succeed in their efforts.
President Buhari described as unthinkable that some Igbos can contemplate secession from Nigeria, saying everyone will be better off if the nation remains united.
We are going to do the roads, we are going to do the rails, and we are going to stabilize power so that we can realize our potentialities. And as a group, I'm telling you this, the Igbos stand to benefit more than anybody because they are more enterprising.
To elections now, campaigns for the Anambra governorship election are on, and the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, has appealed to security agencies to put in their best to ensure that there is no violence. He made the comments during a meeting with security agencies in Abuja.
All 18 political parties are fielding candidates in the election, and campaign by parties and their candidates has already commenced. As you are aware, our state office in Oka was attacked, resulting in extensive damage to the building and the destruction of critical facilities for the election. I am glad to report that we have made arrangement to replace all lost movable materials. Similarly, we are making efforts to rebuild the physical facilities, which will be completed before the election.
With the prevalence of security threat occasioned by different dissident separatist groups in the southern regions of the country, who are bent on scuttling effort of government in achieving national cohesion and undermining the democratic processes in the country, the federal government of Nigeria will not tolerate any group or persons planning to impede smooth conduct of elections.
Elections. With less than 2 months to the Anambra governorship election, INEC introduced a new voter accreditation device called the BVAS. That is the Bimodal Voters Accreditation System. The commission also spoke to the party leaders on developments on the political scene.
And so with bimodal authentication, no person can come to vote more than once as the face of the person who have been captured. You see during a demonstration, during authentication, and this further ensures one person, one vote.
Where the voter fails the fingerprint and facial authentication, he or she will not be allowed to vote. In other words, going forward, no electronic authentication, no voting.
All right, joining us in the studio is the national chairman of the Young Progressive Party, YPP, Comrade Bishop Amakri. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And also via Zoom from the national headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission is the National Commissioner for Voter Education, Mr. Festus Okoye. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon.
All right, let's start with you, Mr. Okoye. How ready is this BVAS for its first test? Will BVAS be fast?
Definitely. As the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission pointed out, we are going to do a pilot with the BVAS this Saturday in the Isoko South 1 state constituency in Delta State. So we are going to deploy the BVAS in Isoko State constituency. We are confident that with the level of work we have done in relation to test running it, that it will be very robust and that it will serve the purpose for which we introduced it. As we are aware, we're engaged in what we call technological convergence. We are trying to put in some of our technologies into one, put them into one. The implication is that we are gradually retiring the smart card reader. So what we now have is that we have what we call the INEC voter enrollment device. When we are doing voter enrollment, we use it for enrollment as an enrollment device. Then during the election, we use it as beavers for accreditation of voters. And then after election, we also use it as a ZPad with which we are going to upload polling unit results into our INEC Result VM portal. And so we are going to provide the technologies we have and put them into one so that they will be robust and they will be more compact. So that's exactly what we're doing. And so it will be, we will display it tomorrow during the Isoko South 1 state constituency election.
All right, in terms of training of manpower for this one, you know, how has that gone in terms of their readiness? You know, yes, Isoko is nice, but we talk about the whole of Anambra State and the stakes are high.
Yes, we are going to learn valuable lessons from the elections we have tomorrow, and in most of the in the polling units, we are mostly going to use our staff, and we have trained them properly on the use of the beavers. And then from the lessons we learned from deploying this particular equipment to Delta State, we are going to replicate it in Anambra. So we'll be ready for Anambra. What we have done and what we are doing going forward is to make sure that the challenges we have with fingerprint authentication using the smart card reader is obviated. And so if previously the smart card reader is unable to read their fingerprints, these particular beavers will read their fingerprints. If there's a challenge with your fingerprints, then we read their facials. If there's a problem with your facials, then we read the QR code in the voters register. And so the implication is that as an individual, you can have challenge with your fingerprints, but you cannot have challenge with your facials, because unless you leave your face at home, if you have to come to the polling unit with your face, and this equipment will read your facial. If it's unable to read your facials, if it's unable to read the QR code, the implication is that you are not who you claim to be, and you are not going to vote in the election.
All right, so perhaps we also may have to appeal to people of the opposite gender as well in terms of makeup, because when it comes to face recognition, but not to be, you know, looking at what he has said. You have been, you know, you were part of that demonstration, or at least you witnessed some of the things that INEC has said. As a party leader, what were your questions, and are we ready to go for a smooth sail? In Anambra, for instance, since you are fielding, you know, a candidate there.
Thank you very much, Fisayo. Honestly, I must commend this present INEC under the watch of Professor Mahmoud, with the kind of effort he's bringing into technological reforms into our electioneering process. But however, that's not to say we're actually, you know, it's yet to Uhuru. No, it's not yet to Uhuru. Why is because you're going to also consider the other aspect of human, you know, factor, which is going to play. And that's what I'm trying to say, Sarah, is that no matter how you bring on board innovations or whatever reforms you want to bring on board, if the people, and you know Nigerian, our nature, Nigerian, don't mind the population. We have highly sophisticated people. Okay, and we're in a generation where you hear a lot of names, all these hush puppies and hush studies, even in the political environment. People say, so, but it's a good innovation. But my major concern, and I remain on this position, is about the human factor. Whether politicians are going to play by the rule of the game, it's another concern. And these gadgets, we saw the demonstration. There's nothing, it's actually a very beautiful template we have seen because of the effort that this INEC is willing to bring on board, you know, in sanitizing our electioneering system. I must commend them on that, okay? But the players, the political players now, are they really going to play by the rule of the game?
Mr. Koyela, I just want you to make this intervention before I let you go. Will this reduce the human interface, just like he's saying? Will it reduce the influence of what he's talking about. You understand my language in terms of this technology you have introduced.
Yes, it is going to help a great deal in sanitizing our electoral process. But one thing is clear, technology will not solve all the challenges of our electoral process. The challenges of our electoral process can only be obviated when all the stakeholders in the electoral process decide that the time has come for us to have clean election. So the conduct of a good election is a multi-stakeholder venture. And all the stakeholders must commit to the fidelity of elections, must also commit to clean elections. But the type of technology we are introducing, the type of technology we are going to be dealing with are the ones that can reduce human interface, human interference in the electoral process. So we're excited about what we are doing.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Okoye. We'll be back again. I hope you'll be back again on the show next week after seeing what has happened in Isoko, and perhaps you'll be able to also update us on the performance of beavers. By that time, we will beavers on the issues of beavers. Thank you very much for that one. Let's quickly move on now. For the people, for democratic governance to succeed in its entirety, we must be an efficient. There must be an efficient judiciary. However, the recurring cases of conflicting judgments by courts of coordinate jurisdiction is a cause for concern. This has led to the intervention of the Chief Justice of Nigeria to arrest the trend.
The judiciary has been at the center of Nigeria's democratic journey since 1999, as it has continued to settle disputes between political parties and politicians at various levels of government. While it is evident that there is a productive working relationship between the judiciary and Independent National Electoral Commission, the numerous and sometimes conflicting ex parte orders from courts of coordinate jurisdiction calls for concerns. This is more so when one considers the setback on planning and enormous cost implications.
For ex parte orders to be issued from different parts of the country on the same subject matter is not only an aberration, it's an embarrassment to the cause of justice.
A judge of a federal high court or a judge of a high court of a state ordinarily should know and knows, for Christ's sake, that there are courts of coordinate jurisdiction, and if there is an order given by this federal high court, you should also know that my order is of no effect.
Legal practitioners refer to the practice as foreign shopping, where political parties and players choose courts or jurisdiction that have most favorable rules or laws for the position being advocated.
We must be able to tell the clients, look, I am not going to be available to go and procure this sort of order for you based on all these mischievous facts you are giving me. We must put the other party on notice. If the man goes to 2-3 lawyers and they all have the same position, he will not insist. But there are so many of our colleagues with respect who are too willing to be available to be used as ready tools to pollute the judicial system.
If you are aggrieved, go to Court of Appeal and appeal against the rule of a high court, not by going to another federal high court or another state high court, which are of coordinate jurisdiction, to secure your own order. The Chief Justice of Nigeria seems to have summoned them to hear from them. They should be sanctioned.
The intervention by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed, has been commended as judges involved in the recent conflicting orders are facing the National Judicial Council to clear themselves from the judicial embarrassment. As the Chief Justice of Nigeria says, a damage to one jurisdiction is a damage to all.
All right, Chairman YPP is still here, the national chairman. We're going for elections now. Throughout this period, it has all been from one court to the other and all that. But are we getting ready for Anambra now? And what is the, feeling there amongst the electorate? Are you sensitizing the people, especially against, going for elections and not thinking of violence or hijacking the process?
YPP can never be a violent political party, and maybe others are going to learn from us. But it's very important we touch this area of judiciary. For me, it's very key, because if we allow this to continue, I must commend the Chief Justice of the nation for taking this bold step in wanting to come and bail the cat. Because why I use the word bailing the cat? This shenanigan has been ongoing for over time. And you continue to ask yourself a question. What kind of encouragement are these top, legal practitioners actually giving to the younger ones coming on board? It's quite unfortunate. And I thank God that he's taking the necessary step. People must be sanctioned, people must be disciplined so that they don't, our judiciary should not, be brought to, muddy waters where in the face of the international communities, people will no longer have hope in our judiciary. I pray that he's going to step on his toe, will do the right thing. Back to the issue about the electioneering, the environment is charged up actually at the moment. And when I say charged up, political parties are very ready. Let me talk about our own. The YPP is like the case of that I will call the dark horse. Okay, dark horse, of course, what you come and then people don't expect what you can do. And before you know, you spring a lot of surprises. We did it in the 2019 election, and I have no fear that we're going to replicate the same. The beauty about it is that you have a sellable candidate you are presenting to the people. And to give you a little bit of background of the candidate that we have, is a man who actually is loved, has built a social capital over time, a man who actually has what I would call this organic followership in terms of grassroots. Don't forget about the elite. Most of these elites don't even vote, most of them. Some of the problems you hear, they instigate the problem, but they don't even go to the polling units to vote. And my total conviction about the YPP winning this election is the fact that I have been there. I saw what I knew what I saw in the 21 local government. Thank you tour and declaration tour of Senator Dr. Patrick Ifanyu. But I saw what I knew. In fact, like I said, I was overwhelmed. I saw a candidate that people were yearning, crying, wanting to come for political liberation to the people of Ndanambra.
Time will tell. Let's hear from another party. The 93rd National Executive Meeting of the People's Democratic Party held in Abuja this week has confirmed the governor of Adamawa State, Amadu Fintiri, as the chairman of the party's National Convention Organizing Committee. This National Executive Committee meeting of the People's Democratic Party, which is the 93rd in the series, is to approve the Convention Planning Committee and orders that had been agreed upon for setting up during the last NEC meeting. Consequently, the governor of Adamawa State, Amadu Fintiri, was confirmed as chairman of the party's National Convention Organizing Committee. Governor Doyediri of Bayelsa is the deputy chairman, while his Oyo State counterpart, Sheyi Makinde, is to serve as secretary. Enugu State Governor Ifanyu Gwani was also confirmed as chairman of the National Convention Zoning Committee. NEC also received the Senator David Mark Committee's report on the leadership crisis that rocked the party recently.
Call on all of us to set aside differences and look at the PDP and Nigeria as a nation to be above any personal or collective consideration. This party is going to remain one.
PDP NEC praised the party members for their steadfastness to democratic principles and the rule of law.
That is eventually what is going to lead us into success.
The party's National Campaign Council for the November 6 governorship election in Anambra State was also inaugurated at the commencement of NEC. Governors on the platform of the People's Democratic Party had earlier converged on Abuja to strategize on putting to rest all challenges confronting the party ahead of its national convention next month.
We discussed how to move the party forward, the unity of the party, bringing all the leaders together, not only working towards a very successful national convention, but even beyond that.
The PDP Governors Forum also promised to accord full support for the party's governorship candidate in Anambra State. That has been political update for this week. Many thanks to Bishop Amakri of the YPP for coming, and of course to the INEC National Commissioner for Information and Voter Registration, Mr. Festus Okoye, for also making his intervention. My name is Fisai Ogunfi. Thanking you for staying tuned. All the best. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and don't forget to play your politics for the greater good. Bye-bye now.